Two Lloydminster businesses were denied their request to cancel property tax payments at City Council on Monday. Eric Bay has more on Council's decision.
The Sawmill restaurant, which is currently closed due to the pandemic, requested their entire property taxes be canceled to ease their current financial difficulties. Another business, Prodal Environmental Services Limited, asked that its late payment fee be waived, but council denied both requests, saying every business in the city could make the case for a tax break in 2020.
It's a hard decision because we do understand, but we also understand on the other side that there's X number of taxpayers that have paid their taxes already or will be paying them in due course. And we'd all like to have a tax break, but it's just not fiscally feasible to do that because what business is qualified and which doesn't.
With the city already working with what the mayor calls a no-frills budget in 2021, providing a municipal tax break would force the city to cut services, which council opposed during budget talks.
By providing tax relief, where does that money come from to provide the services for our city? And again, we've had this discussion prior to the election, during the election, and after the election. What services are people prepared not to have when there's less money? And that's a very tough one. I have a hard time getting an answer from people. What rinks you want closed? What streets do you not want plowed?
Council did move the property tax payment deadline this year from June to early November, which was the latest deadline in Canada.
When we looked at it in November, there was concerns raised by administration, and I do appreciate them raising those concerns because it certainly put us at a potential financial disadvantage. And the work done by our finance team to keep us out of our line of credit this year did an amazing job, and I want to thank them for that.
The city's late payment deadline is February 10th. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
In the final Beyond the Classroom of the year, we take a look at how the Lloydminster Public School Division is giving back to community members for the holidays.
I'm joined here with Sarah Patterson, Wellness and Nutrition Coordinator for the Lloydminster Public School Division, and Len Wagner, the Director of Continuing Care for Lloydminster and Area. Now, LPSD has recorded season greetings and videos for healthcare workers, frontline workers, as well as seniors in living and care centers. So what was the idea behind this?
As a school division, we just wanted the ability to spread a little joy to our community members. Specifically to the seniors in our long-term care facilities, as well as our healthcare workers and emergency service responders. You know, we just wanted to, like I said, send a little virtual Christmas card, telling them that they're in our thoughts, and to thank them for all that they've done for us this year. So yeah, it just kind of started as an idea, and you know, we took it and we ran with it, and I'm really happy with the end result.
Yeah, and how did the filming process work?
So initially what I did was I sent an email to all the staff, and what I said was any classroom, any individual students, any individual staff who wanted to submit a video could do that. And again, the video was just to say thank you very much, or to wish, you know, season's greetings, Merry Christmas, things like that. And they film a little video or took photos, and they uploaded it to our Google Drive, and from there we just compiled it into a couple of videos.
And why do you feel it was so important to do this?
Well, you know, again, with 2020 being the year that it was, we just wanted the opportunity to let our community know that LPSD was very grateful for everything that, you know, was done for our school division this year. We just wanted an opportunity, staff and students, to thank our community, to just spread that, you know, that joy to the community. So it was a perfect platform to do it.
And Len, what was your reaction when you did see the video and saw like that they did this project?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great. I have to say, I really, really liked the bagpipes and wanted to hear more, but well done. I'm not sure who did that, but it was very good and just heartwarming to see, you know, the two different ends of the spectrum, people starting out their lives and, you know, paying some respect to those who have paved the way for us and make the community that we live in the place that it is. So yeah, it was, you know, I thought it was great. It warmed my heart, as I said.
And, you know, obviously this year has been difficult, but we have seen support from the community in different forms. So what does it mean to you to see that support?
You know, again, it always amazes me the support that these small communities, they just rally around, and what they're able to do. Things like these videos, I think, are amazing. And then, my plug again for the Lloydminster Hospital Foundation today, they're doing a radiothon, and the amount of money that people donate, and what we're able to do, as you say, 2020 has been a really, really tough year, especially for our seniors. And they've provided things like iPads, and they were bringing, when they were able to bring meals and stuff for the staff. So, again, it's just a small community, everybody gathers around, and there's just a lot of support. It's what makes these small communities great places to live and work.
And Sarah, what was the reaction from the teachers and students when you did approach them with these ideas?
You know what? They were super excited to take part in this project. The response was overwhelming. We had over 106 applicants for this. So, the response was just phenomenal for this. Again, you don't have to bend the arms of the students and the staff to do this. They want to participate. They want to say thank you, and they want to reach out to, especially, like I said, the seniors in our community who mean so much to us. So, at the end of the day, if we can put a smile on somebody's face or bring them a little bit of joy, then we've done our job. We very much wanted to be able to spread that. So yeah, we're so happy that the residents at LCC and the other care facilities around town got to see the video. And what's great is with that, the funds from the telethon, with purchasing iPads and things like that, this is something that we can continue to do, sending virtual cards or virtual greetings, games, FaceTiming each other. So I think this is the start of something that we can continue with, a partnership that we can continue with.
Well, thank you both for joining me today.
Thanks, Jasmine. Much appreciated.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College, home to the most hands-on education in Canada. Apply today and graduate job ready.
The pandemic has forced the cancellations of many events in Lloydminster, but one holiday tradition is going ahead as planned. Jace Mackey has more on the Lloydminster Parade of Lights.
I'm joined today with President of the Lloydminster Parade of Lights, Ryan LeBlanc. Ryan, thanks again for talking with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So the Parade of Lights is going to be taking place at the Lloyd X grounds on Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. For people who are interested in coming on down, what should they expect and what do they need to know?
Yeah, you bet. So it's tomorrow night, starts at 4 p.m. It runs till 8 p.m. So people will be able to come in through the Civic Center parking lot entrance. From there, they're going to drive north and they're going to drive through the exhibition parking lot. That's where we'll have the displays set up. So we're pretty excited.
And so obviously this is not the typical year, and this parade isn't the typical parade. It's one where people drive by everything. Can you just tell me a little bit about how important do you think it was to still be able to put this event on for the community?
Yeah, so when we met as a committee, everybody was on the same page. We thought we got to do something for the community. We got to have this event still move forward. So we contacted the Saskatchewan COVID emergency response team, and they gave us the green light to do it in this fashion. So we're pretty excited that we're able to do some form of the Parade of Lights for this year.
And I know in previous years there's been kind of like a donation aspect to the parade as well. Is that continuing for this year's edition?
Yeah, you bet. So we're going to have our local citizens on patrol here collecting donations, cash donations for the Lloydminster Exhibition Association, as well as the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation. So the funds this year will be 100% donated to those two organizations, and it'll be split evenly.
And also when it comes to getting people to take part in, setting up a float and setting up a space, how did that go this year with getting people to take part?
Yeah, pretty good. You know what? For what the pandemic we're in, I'm very surprised and excited. We're at about 25 entries this year, so a little smaller than previous years, but with what's going on, that's to be expected. So, with that being said, we got a good group of 25, and I'm pretty excited to see what they come up with.
And Ryan, is there anything else that you want to add to make sure that people know about?
No, I just want to thank the community for standing behind this event and our sponsors. Every year they're on board with us no matter what's going on. And thank you to everybody, our participants who take the time and the effort, put their displays together and enter into this event. So just want to thank everybody.
And for people coming on by, do they have to drive by, or could they also kind of just walk through it?
No, so you won't be allowed out of your vehicle, so you'll have to drive through it. However, for our local seniors and people that are unable to make the event, we're going to actually have Kurt Price. He's going to be down here and hosting the event. So he'll be able to he's going to be doing a live stream with Jason Whiting. They're going to be doing a live stream, a walkthrough through the event. So for our local seniors and people who are unable to make the event, they'll be able to see that online on the Facebook page. It'll be good for them to be able to see something.
All right, that's exciting. And thanks again for taking some time to talk to me today, Ryan.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Looking at temperatures right now, a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. We're kind of at -8, which in a sense, still fairly cold, but not too cold indeed compared to what we saw over those several days where we were over -20 degrees and over closer to -30 with that wind chill. But it feels more like -11 right now with the added wind chills. We take a look at temperatures right now in the area, -8 for us here in Lloydminster, as I mentioned there, -8 we also see in Vegreville and St. Paul, -5 for Vermilion and Edmonton, -7 up in Bonnyville, and a little bit cooler in Cold Lake at -11, -12 for Lac La Biche as well. And then we see -10s in St. Walburg, Maidstone, and North Battleford as well. And then -13 in Meadow Lake and Green Lake as well, with -17 up in Isle La Crosse. Looking at Provost and Provost and Wainwright, a little bit warmer in that -1 and -2 range. -6 degrees we see there in Macklin. As we take a look at the satellite radar map, we are expecting some snow coming in our way fairly soon, into tomorrow possibly. Starting out further west, and it's going to make its way into the Edmonton area, and that current is going to move all the way from the east to west to east, as we are going to get some snow heading into tomorrow and throughout most of the day as well. But looking in North Battleford overnight, -13 degrees with some cloud coverage going into tomorrow with a high there of -4 with a rain and snow mix throughout the day. Looking at Cold Lake, -16 degrees overnight, and then that snow, once again, as I mentioned there, it will continue. The wind's going to pick up a little bit though, with that wind coming in from the southwest at 20 kilometers an hour. And then for us here at Lloydminster, -12 expected overnight with a little bit clearer skies. And we are going to start to see the snow probably late morning into the afternoon for tomorrow. And we are expected around maybe up to 5 centimeters of snow for tomorrow. -9 is the expected daytime high. It could feel more like -34 because we're going to have some pretty heavy winds though coming in from the south there at over 20 kilometers an hour. So that's what it could feel like for tomorrow. -12 for Friday, a little bit more sun coming our way and some cloud coverage there. And then we warm up for the weekend there with that high of -1. And then on Friday morning, it does get you a little bit chillier with that low there of -23 to start the day. So we're going to have a few more days of cold weather, and then we're going to have a nice warm weekend ahead. But we're going to take a break now. We'll have more primetime local news after this.
While the golf season has been over for a number of months now, the golf world continues to operate. One member of the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Club has been rewarded this past week for his efforts over his career.
I'm really humble to have been recognized this way.
After a lengthy career as a pro with the PGA of Manitoba, Tom Kinsman is being rewarded. Late last week, Kinsman was named a 2020 inductee to the Manitoba Golf Hall of Fame.
Well, certainly very unexpected and certainly greatly appreciated the recognition. I'm really humble to have been recognized this way. And because there's so many people who, got me to this point. So very thankful to everyone.
From 1991 to 2018, Kinsman was the head pro at the Southwood Golf and Country Club. For the past 2 years, he has been part of the LGCC and Wheaton Golf Services staff. Over his career, Kinsman has racked up a number of awards from the PGA of Manitoba, including Pro of the Year, 4-time Teacher of the Year, and for 2 years was the president of the PGA of Manitoba. Through all this, the connections made are what stick with him the most.
Having that connection, I had a relationship with Laurie Kane from Canada, who got onto the LPGA Tour later. But having that connection with Laurie through Judy, I met Aileen Robertson, who again, a Winnipegger, who had a phenomenal amateur career, won the Canadian Amateur in 1 year, the same year she won Manitoba Amateur, the Ontario Amateur, and the Quebec Amateur. So just all these connections that come to mind is unbelievable.
As a player, Kinsman won 6 PGA Zone professional titles. As a coach, his players won 39 provincial championships and 4 national championships.
Again, the look on the people's face when they hit a good shot is just phenomenal. And if that helps bring people or keep people coming to the game, that's great for golf.
Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Looking at temperatures right now, still we're up at -9 right now as we are getting a little bit colder heading into tonight. We are going to see around -12 overnight tonight, and then we are going to start to see the snow actually early morning tomorrow around that 7 a.m. mark is when we're expecting our flurries here. So taking a look at temperatures out west, -6 in Edmonton as well as in Red Deer with -3 for Rocky Mountain House, -13 in Athabasca with -9. In Whitecourt with 2 degrees in Jasper right now. Take a look in some areas in Saskatchewan. We see -11s there in North Battleford, Saskatoon, and in Prince Albert. Pretty consistent temperatures and numbers we see there. -12 in Melfort and -13 in Meadow Lake with -11 also we see in Cold Lake right now. Moving over into northern temperatures in Alberta and Saskatchewan, -19 we see in La Loche, Buffalo Narrows, -18 degrees we see in La Ronge. A little bit colder in some areas as we look at Uranium City and Stony Rapids in the -30s right now, which is very surprising to see right now at this time of year here. -33 for Stony Rapids, -32 for Uranium City, -24 in Wollaston Lake, and then -22 in South End with -17 on that Manitoba and Saskatchewan border in Flin Flon. Looking in northern Alberta, a little bit different there. Fort Chipewyan in those higher northern Alberta areas are kind of in the closer to that -30 range there. -26 for Fort Chipewyan, -21 in Fort McMurray and High Level right now, -16 for Peace River, as well as -11 in Slave Lake, and then -12 in Grand Prairie. Now taking a look at southern Alberta, it's a much different story. We see some positive temperatures there in areas like Lethbridge and in Calgary as well. 3 degrees in Medicine Hat with 1 degree in Banff, and then -3 for Coronation, and then we see -10 in Kindersley as we take a look at southern Saskatchewan right now. -1 for Swift Current. Still fairly warm though in some areas in southern Saskatchewan. -8 in Regina, Estevan, and then -9 in Yorkton. And we also see -2 right now in Moose Jaw. Now as we take a look at temperatures across the country, lots of cloud coverage for areas like Winnipeg and Toronto. -2 for Winnipeg there with -7 in Toronto, -20 for Quebec City, and then -3 in St. John's, and we see -8 in Halifax. We still see Edmonton did see a lot of sunshine today. They're also going to get that snow that we're expecting there for tomorrow. 9 degrees in Vancouver with some showers, -39 up in Yellowknife, and then -16 in Whitehorse with some flurries. Looking at what we could see for tomorrow, -9 is our expected daytime high in Lloydminster, Vermilion, and Marwayne, -11 up in Bonnyville and Lac La Biche, -10 for Pearsland and Cold Lake tomorrow, and then we'll see -4s in North Battleford, Wainwright, and in Provost as well. Now, let's take a look here at the 7-day forecast. -12 here for Friday with a low there of -23 to start the day off. We are going to have a much warmer weekend. As you can see there, -1 on Saturday and then -2 on Sunday. We are going to gradually get a little bit colder heading into next week here. Of course, we are almost a week away here from Christmas here. -8 on Monday with clear skies and sun. -10 on Tuesday with a little bit more cloud coverage coming in through. And then we'll see -15 on Wednesday with some more sun expected there. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us again today. We've been talking about divorce and separation, doing a series of features and talking about some of the things you need to know. Stephanie, thanks for joining us again today, and let's keep exploring these subjects and helping people out.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Stacey.
Today, Stephanie, we're going to talk about starting the process for separation and divorce. Obviously, it's a big deal. A lot of people, probably don't even expect it. So what is the best place to start?
Yeah, when separation or divorce is on the horizon, or if it's just occurred for you, my recommendation is to start to learn as much as you can. And the earlier that you can learn, the better, and the more that you can learn in a constructive and positive way, the better. And so that may involve reading books, that may involve talking to neighbors, that may involve talking to a professional about what your options are, and just absorbing as much information, because it can be really overwhelming right at the beginning.
And if you are looking for a professional, Stephanie, you are a lawyer and a mediator, obviously, so you kind of help on both sides. But if someone's looking for a professional, how do they go about starting to find that?
Yeah, so you want to consider when you're going to go and talk to a professional. I always say the earlier that you get that information, the better. Just like I was just talking about, it can be very overwhelming right at the beginning. So it's, even just going in for a consultation with someone, with a lawyer or a mediator, that's 1 hour of advice. You don't necessarily have to hire the lawyer or mediator right at that point. It's just gathering the information that's really important. And then but when you're going to hire that professional, make sure you know who you're going to hire. So long gone are the days of looking in the phone book and just picking someone's name out of the phone book. I really recommend doing your research. So look for the approach that you're looking for and check out their online presence and talk to friends and family and maybe get some recommendations, or even look at their social media feed. Are they saying things that are triggering with you as to that's the type of approach that you're looking for?
Now, when somebody goes for a consultation, Stephanie, what can they expect?
Okay, so when I'll just use an example, when someone comes for a consultation for me. So the consultations are always booked for an hour, and the first part of it is I'm doing a lot of listening. So I'm trying to understand what your story is, trying to ask you some questions to really fill in the blanks. I have a questionnaire ahead of time that really helps me to hit the ground running with you. So the first part is really gathering the information for me. And then the next part is really giving you some advice, answering your questions. A lot of people will come with a list of questions, and that's really important because when you come in, oftentimes you forget completely what all your questions are. So having that list of questions is really important. And by the time you leave the consultation, you should have a clear direction of what that next step is for you. So, are you going to be starting a court proceeding? Are you going to be sending a letter to your spouse, or your former spouse? Are you going to be looking at particular processes? Of course, there's lots of different options. The legal process, the mediation process, the do-it-yourself process, so you really should have a clear direction once you leave there, and you should have all of your questions answered.
Stephanie, because of the fact you are a lawyer and a mediator, as we mentioned, if somebody is going to you or to whomever they decide to see, is it important that they know which one they want when they first seek out the information?
That's a really good question, because a lot of times when people call our office, all they know is they're separating or they're divorcing, and they think they need to call a lawyer's office. And so people don't really absorb that the first thing that they might want to start to consider is process, and they might not even know that there are options. A lot of times people will just leave that in the hands of their lawyer as to explaining to them what the process might be, and taking it from there. What's really important to us when you come to meet with us is knowing that you can hire me as a lawyer, you can hire me as a mediator. And so that's something that we go through during the consultation. But in advance of that consultation, it's also important to start to do your own research, to really understand what those process options are, and just to try to figure out what might be best for you. That's always what our goal is in that first meeting, is to try to match your situation with the process that's going to work best for you.
Stephanie, if people are looking for more information, or if they have questions for you, what is the best way to reach you at?
Sure. So people can call our office anytime, 780-875-2234. But easiest way is to go to our website, fill out our contact form, and start to, again, even on our website, there's lots of information on process, on options, and on how to proceed forward and what those next steps might be. So website's probably the best option.
Okay, well, thank you so much again for speaking with us, Stephanie. There's just so much involved with this whole process, and I guess we're just trying to help people wade through it. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stacey.
I'm talking with Olivia Brockhoff from the Lloydminster Youth Council. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. So can you tell us about the event Saturday the council is putting on to help the Salvation Army?
Yeah, basically we have a bunch of like drop-off box locations around Lloydminster, and we want everybody who can to come out dressed up like Santa Claus or like have just a bunch of Christmas gear on. Take a picture. We're trying to make it super COVID friendly, so take a picture of you with your like your costume on, and then post it and tag us, and bring a donation to drop in the boxes for the Salvation Army, because that's a big thing this year is the Salvation Army isn't getting enough donations. So we just decided to have this fun little community run that's COVID safe, and there will be youth council members at the boxes watching to make sure none of the donations get stolen, and it's going to be exciting.
And do you know exactly where the drop-off locations are?
Kinsman Park, College Park, Bud Miller, and then I can't remember the other ones, but it's all on our Instagram page.
And has there been lots of support so far with this?
Yeah, everybody's excited to kind of get moving and get dressed and be outside and have like a purpose towards it, and not just like a walk because they need to go for a walk because they've been stuck inside, but you get to donate and you get to dress up, and we have door prizes for the 3 best dressed. So we will look at the pictures and decide which costumes are the best, and then door prizes will be given to first, second, and third.
And where did this idea come up to do this for the Salvation Army?
Our community service group was talking with Laura Lee, and we were just shooting some ideas out there that we could do before Christmas that would maybe bring a little bit of community cheer. And then this is one of her ideas she talked about.
And how has planning this been like during COVID?
It's been really hard because restrictions change all the time, but it's fun to be able to get on the Zoom calls and see everybody's faces and laugh and talk about Christmas and how we're going to handle things and come up with a bunch of different ideas. It's good for learning how to problem solve, that's for sure.
And what are the proceeds exactly helping with the Salvation Army?
Getting in food donations for all of those people who have lost their jobs and can't afford a Christmas meal this year because of COVID, or people on the regular who just can't afford food. They aren't getting as many of those donations this year, which has really, really, really been hard on them. So it would be great if we could get quite a bit to go towards it.
And I also want to talk about the application deadline just came up for new people wanting to join the Youth Council. How have new members been this year? Have there been lots of new members added to the council for this year?
Yeah, last year we only had like 14 people on the youth council, and this year we have like around 30, which has been crazy hard to like communicate with during the Zoom calls because it's just a lot of people. But it's been really great to have all those brilliant minds on the youth council and get everybody's ideas, especially in this time where we can't really do anything. And so everybody's ideas and helps towards everything we do and the restrictions is really great.
And there any other future plans that the Lloydminster Youth Council is planning for December and the new year?
We're kind of just going along as the restrictions come and go. It's really, really hard for us to keep planning. We had a Santa skate planned for the beginning of December, but then we had to cancel that because more COVID restrictions.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Olivia.
Thank you for having me.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. We are going to see some snow starting around 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's going to carry on throughout most of the day here. We are expected upwards of maybe up to 5 centimeters for tomorrow with that high of -9. -12 on Fridays. We are going to get a little bit more sun coming into the mix there. -1 on Saturdays. We are going to have a little bit of a warmer weekend there with that high of -1. -2 on Sunday with a little bit more cloud coverage coming back there. -8 for Monday with some clear skies there. -10 we'll see on Tuesday with more cloud coverage there. And then -15 on Wednesday to wrap up the week there. We usually average around -9 for our daytime highs around this time of year, and we usually average around -18 for the low.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.